CJ, how are you feeling going into the season?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. We had a long summer, longest summer I've ever been a part of, right? Early exit. And there was a lot of time to just kind of think and really figure out how to improve to help this team, how to improve physically, mentally, and how to kind of rest, right? A lot of injuries, things of that nature, how to rest the body and the mind, and begin to really improve. And I think we've all taken that approach, and we've all gotten better and are looking forward to the season.
Do you see yourself as a leader on the team, kind of trying to instill some of that in some of the other guys as well?
Yeah, but I don't necessarily think I have to instill it. I think it's osmosis, right? Like you're around it enough, you start to absorb it, you start to see it, you start to think it, you start to believe it, and it starts to become a part of you. And I think I don't have to preach. I'm not a preacher. I just come out here and hoop. I do my job. I work the way that I work. I speak on things that I believe in. If I see something I don't like, I speak on it. And I think that is the way that has been most effective for me in my life as a person who is pretty blunt but also laid back. The work is the work, and you can never run from it. You got to do what it takes to be better. You got to do what it takes to really consistently improve incrementally. And sometimes you may not see results right away, but it's about your approach. And I think they understand and respect my approach. They've seen it enough. They understand the results. And I think as a leader, as a guy who's older on the team, probably the second oldest on the team right now, it's about doing things the right way, but also allowing people to be themselves. I think that's really important.
It seems like, there's a lot of continuity on the team. I was just talking to Zion about it. He said the brotherhood's really strong here. Is that something that you think is going to help you get out to a fast start this year as you hit training camp preseason? And do you feel this is kind of a bit of a make or break year when it comes to this roster, this team?
I don't think it's a make or break. I think some things are in control and some things aren't, but I think the guys will be ready. I think there's a lot more continuity. Going through a full off season together, early off season that started with a lot of guys in the facility working out. A lot of guys been in the last 2 months, month and a half, and obviously we lost G. We lost Hernan Gomez. We lost Jackson Hayes. So it's different, right, when you don't have those types of guys in the locker room and you miss them and you wish them the best, but you understand that the majority of our rotation guys are back, right, coming back, so we should be able to perform at a high level. Obviously, Jose's out right now, Larry's out. They should be back soon, and then Trey will be out to start the season, and that's a guy we really need. We're in a position where we should be able to get off to a good start this season.
Yeah, it seems, with the schedule, it seems kind of like middle of the road in terms of difficulty compared to some other NBA teams, but the end seems a little bit tough. Have you had discussions with James Borrego about what some of the tweaks to the offense are going to be and what your role is going to be there? Yeah,
me and JB have had lunch together. We've watched film together. We've had a lot of conversations about ways to improve our offense, pace, decision-making, flow, more ball movement, player movement. Obviously me playing off the ball some, playing on the ball some, being able to really use, not only my talents, but the rest of the team's talents. We've got a lot of guys that can make decisions, a lot of guys who can handle the ball and play in crowds and create crowds. And it's more about creating advantages and really taking advantage of people's skill sets, and I think we're going to do that.
For you personally, you came over in the trade 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago now. Last year, it seems like you were playing through a number of injuries. I know you had a newborn as well. That can impact things. Do you feel more settled maybe here going into this season? Things seem a little bit easier maybe?
Yeah. There's no transition. I've been here. I stayed here all summer. I didn't have to find a house. I didn't have to find a nanny. I didn't have to do a lot of stuff that you have to do as a father and man of your household. There was a mental battle, a physical battle, obviously, with the injuries that you go through when there's a drastic change in your life. And it was just a part of, being a professional. You figure out how to get through it. You don't make excuses and you move on. And I'm glad I was able to go through that and still finish the season and still contribute. And now we go into an off season where I get surgery, I rehab, and I get better. And I figure out how to come in and do what I've always done, impact winning, be a good leader, be a good man, and do things the right way. And I think this will be a very good year for me individually, and it'll be a very good year for us as a team.
Yeah, I know everyone's really excited. And the final thing I'll ask you here, your role with the Players Association, working on the new collective bargaining agreement. How do you feel everything went there? Do you feel good about how that, is going to work for the players in the future? Yeah,
I feel good about it. I mean, I think one of the things that we always learn on the fly and that you try to teach people that don't truly understand is that it's a negotiation. It's not going to be everything that you would like, and it's not going to be everything the league would like, but you meet halfway to try to make the game grow and make it better. And I think we're heading in that direction. It's a little premature to judge the entire CBA, over 600 pages of things that are going to be impacting our game year to year, player to player. So as we continue to get more data and to have conversation with players to see what's working, what's not working, what needs tweaked, talk about Exhibit 10, talk about two-way players, talk about the contracts, the length of the contracts, player movement, player freedom, free agency. All those things really matter, but it's about growing the game, making the game better, and continue to provide advantageous opportunities for our players. And I think we're heading in that direction. I think the fans will be pleased with the outcome of some of the things that we've decided upon. Obviously, this season we'll have the in-season tournament. We had the playing game implemented. We've had some small, subtle changes to our game that I think are impactful. And really just trying to provide education and resources for past players, right? Trying to provide, an opportunity for economic growth and ways to create generational wealth, but also ways to allow our fans to enjoy this great game that we have. And I think looking at this offseason, there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of conversations. We've showed time and time again why we're one of the most powerful sports in the world.
Are you excited for Damian Lillard teaming up with Giannis?
I am. I'm excited for him. I'm going to check in with him at the end of the week, see how things are going. And I think basketball is at its peak right now in terms of player movement, player empowerment, spending power that these teams are having, valuations of these teams, right? And then the amount of money that our players are generating on and off the court, I think is at an all-time high, and that's a credit to all the players that have come before us, and the league being a great partner in helping our game grow.
I mean, you look at the Bucks, right? They're a small market team, and they're spending and deep into the luxury tax, and that's something that maybe even 10 years ago you weren't really seeing with anything, it seems like. So it's
absolutely
a great point of yours of that kind of player movement, guys being there generates that kind of money for everything. Final two things here for you. Zion said he's going to be unguardable this year. Do you agree?
He was unguardable last year, so yeah, I agree.
Do you also agree with him saying Trey's going to be a problem?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank
Absolutely.
you, CJ.
Thank you.